Today I'm going to be building an overhead camera mount system for my Canon M50 to go over my workbench so that I can get a lot better view of what I'm doing with my hands on my workbench. This square tubing here was salvaged out of my old recliner, and the parts that you've seen on the table is the only parts that I'm going to use, and it was all parts that I've had. I had to buy no parts for this particular build. This is the space where the overhead camera mounting system is going to go. This is an old system that I made out of some old square tubing that I had. Basically going to be the same thing, and you can see in the top right corner what an actual store-bought camera mounting system, or microphone and various other accessories type system looks like. And it's really simple, just square tubing with bolts going through the ends of it to make a joint like an elbow. Nothing to it. And that thing in the top right corner is actually pretty expensive. Here I'm just taking measurements, and I don't have a drawing, I don't have anything. I'm just working from an idea that I had in my head. And really, this idea that I had never actually looked up what an actual camera mounting system would look like. And so this was just kind of, I guess it's really the best way and the easiest way to go about it. So I was glad to see that the store-bought systems look a lot like what I came up with. And the steel for the square tubing that I salvaged out of my old recliner was really, really hard. And so I had to take my time drilling it and keeping the holes lubricated so I didn't break any bits or burn the tips of my bits up. Now that I have all of my holes drilled, I take my carriage bolts and I start putting the arm together, trying to figure out how much articulation I actually need. I have 3 pieces put together, so I think that'll be plenty for what I need to do. I took a square file and actually just made corners in the holes that I drilled so it locked that carriage bolt in place. It's really not hard to do, and here's an example of that. The casters had a half moon shape on one side for a particular pin that went in it. So really all I had to do was take my square file and make corners in the top of the hole to lock that carriage bolt in place. It's really not that difficult, and it's actually worth the trouble to do it. It makes your life a lot easier. So now that the caster will accept the square lug on the carriage bolt, I cut some stainless steel tubing to use as bushings between the square tubing and the ears on the caster mount itself. Here I'm just mounting a couple of 1x4s, screwing them into the studs through the drywall as a temporary solution to hang the camera rig from. I want to be able to design a quick detach mount so that I could take the whole articulated camera arm off quickly and reposition it around the shop, and maybe have some different fixtures set up at different locations, or even to my tripod, so that I could be a little more versatile and get a little more height out of my tripod to look down or look underneath or be able to catch all sorts of different angles. But this is going to work for now. I really just had to get this thing built and mounted so that I could do the video for the SKS. Again, this whole thing is a really big proof of concept. I would also like to not have to use these long studs and wing nuts. I would like to come up with another solution. Maybe look on Amazon and find something that's a dedicated platform to mount this camera to. But this was all I had in the shop, and it got me through. But it also got me thinking and got me problem solving and really trying to be more creative in the way I handle issues, and be able to use my environment and everything that I have in the shop that's available to me without going out and buying more stuff. And this is just really good practice, and I love challenging myself this way. But this thing isn't great, looking. It's pretty ugly, but it performs its job perfectly. But I do want to make another iteration of this and maybe even improve on this further, just as a hobby, and maybe just practice, just because I love to tinker. So this is a really cool project, and it's really easy to make if you need one. But that's it for this one, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any improvements or comments or any ideas that I could use for this type of thing, let me know down in the comments section. And if you have any questions on anything that I use, be sure to let me know, and I'll help you out the best way I can. Anyway, y'all be safe. Y'all come back now.